Hello, it's Nienke here from Nienks.com. In my previous video, I made this card with you and then actually signed off the video before doing my envelope. So I just thought I'd show you that. Now today we're going to make our next card. It's one of three, so this is number 2. I will link this one at the top if you want to go and see how we did that. I use the stylish sketches SALE-abration stamp set that you can now earn for free with a $50 order through end of August, and I absolutely love this line art and I think it's perfect with watercoloring. I love watercoloring, so let me show you how to do that. Today we're going to use this fox, and then in the next one we're going to use the doves. Okay, so that's just our example of last time. It's going to be the same colors, same style, different layout. Okay, so let's grab our parts and pieces. Again, it's going to be a very vanilla card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Burnish with your bone folder so that it will lie down flat. I have a piece of Mossy Meadow, and we're going to do the same type of stamping on it as we did in the previous one, but this time we're going to do the bottom. So we did the sides for the one, and then we're going to do the bottom now. Use Mossy Meadow ink and these beautiful dots. I love these dots. Okay, I'm going to rotate. This is going to be my bottom, but I'm going to rotate my piece of mat. The mat is 4 by 5 1/4, if you wondering about that. So I just like to stamp from this side if I'm doing this kind of effect. Ink it up, start at this side first, and then move your stamp closer to the inside for your second and third generation stamping. You can rotate your stamp if you like. These dots are so fine that I actually feel you don't need to rotate that much, as long as you don't get them perfectly aligned, they'll be fine. How far in you go is all up to you. I'm looking at about 1/4 of the way in, starting with a darker ink right off the edge and moving my third, second, and I sometimes even just add some more. Excellent. Okay, so that will be from the bottom. It just gives it some extra texture. I love it. These dots are great. Okay, I'm going to use this again as I did with the other one, with the red and the yellow. So I just want to make sure that there's no Mossy Meadow on my stamp when I go back and do, to ink up with the yellow, and then there might be some yellow stuck on. So Mossy Meadow stuck on my yellow ink pad. That's what I'm trying to spit out here. Okay, there is our Mossy Meadow piece. Now this is a bit thicker than I want, but again we're going to do that tearing. So it is 2.5 by 4. Yeah, 2.5 by 4. I'm going to leave these edges straight because I want them to line up with the edge of my mat, but we will be tearing down the top and the bottom a little bit. Going to stamp our fox in early espresso. I see I have the sun creeping up on me again. I have in my new craft room I have a lovely sunspot, but I don't mind the sun shining in, but for the videos it's a bit tough. Okay, hope that's better. Here we go. I hope the light is still good. Should be. Early morning light, the best type of light, I feel. Said I'm finding early mornings the best time to do my videos currently. The rest of the day is just too busy. Okay, I should have used my bigger block, but it's fine. going to tear it down anyway. So I inked them up in early espresso, just going to give it a minute. These are very fine lines, and we want them to show up, so we need to have give the ink some time to absorb into the paper. And also you don't want to rock or just even pressure, and that will turn out so pretty. It will lighten up, it will soak in and dry. So initially it looks very what's the word, blotchy or strange after you've stamped, but then after it has just settled a bit and dried, the art is beautiful. You just need to give it a minute. Okay, I'm going to let this dry. Again, same thing, it is very vanilla cardstock, not water paper cardstock. It will warp a little bit, but I know how much water I use. I use very little water, so it won't warp that much, and without tearing effect, it doesn't really matter either way. I just use very little water and my ink, so it won't warp that much. If you don't want it to warp, you'll have to use watercolor paper. Okay, one more thing is this. Now again, I'm going to put this at the bottom and tear it down. Now, like I said, most of this I'm going to take about 1/4 of an inch off there and 1/4 of an inch off here. So there's going to be way more of our DSP showing, but for now I'm just going to tear this down so that I can give my ink time to dry. If you tear towards you, I think I explained in the previous video too, if you tear towards you, you will get a white edge because this paper has a white core. I don't really want that stark white, so I'm going to tear it from the other side, tear the other side towards me, and then you will get that white edge on this side, and you will not get the white edge on this side. It doesn't matter, and it depends on what you want for your project, and you know where you're going with it and what you like. For this particular project, because I'm using very vanilla and not basic white, I do not want the white. If I was using basic white, I would definitely have gone for this side. So there you have it. But because I know there's white in there, but it's very muted and very subtle, I felt that against my very vanilla, it was too stark of a contrast. So I would rather go with that side. Okay, but again, if I was using basic white, which you are totally welcome to do, I would have probably used that edge, so I would tear towards me on that side. Okay, I'm taking off very, very tiny pieces here. If that's too difficult for you, just cut your DSP a little bit bigger. And now you see this is got a very big edge. If you want it not to tear as much, you just keep your finger there, and then immediately that will change. Okay, so use this thumb to guide your tearing where you want it. So now it's going to look like that on that side. I'm rolling up my edges because that's the look I'm going for. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. This paper, I think I mentioned also, SALE-abration paper. You can get it for free for a $50 order through the end of August. I love it. Expect to see more. There's another one with mushrooms. That's also my favorite. I think I used this in something else too. I'll have to go and look for it. Okay. Again, I'm only going to put glue right in the middle so that I can have my edges pop up. Okay, I think our fox is dry enough. Now I'm going to color him in, you can guess, Cajun Grace, because it's fox color. I love it. Love this color. Love it, love it. Okay, Cajun Craze. Again, very little water. Oh, now I need my lid. I thought I left the early espresso there for a reason. And that is why. Okay, you can use your re-inker and drop a drop of re-inker here. Use that. You can still close it. You can clean it up. Doesn't matter. I'm just pressing the back side into the lid, and you'll get a splotch of ink right there. Add a drop, and like you can see, there's ink right here. It will just reactivate the minute you add water to it. So you can clean your lid or you can leave it that way. I do a lot of watercoloring, so I'm just gonna leave it. Now we want our darkest color first. Pick up ink straight from there. What's going to be darkest? The stuff at the back. So like the inside of his leggy, this side and that side, and his little, oh, we got to go with footsie. He's footsie there. And then that side there needs to be dark. This back paw is going to be dark. And let's start here around his tail. Probably want that to be darker. And then foxes have a white tip on their tail, right? I do think so. Yes, actually no, so I'm going to stop right there. And again, this is Early Espresso and Cajun Craze. It will bleed, but that's the look I'm going for. This is sketchy, it's watercolor, it is fine. If you do not like the bleeding, use Stays On. Use Stays On ink if you don't want it to bleed. His ear. So I'm just going through and checking what would be in shadow. Stuff that's further away will be in shadow. Okay. Now they also, I think, have a white chin. Yes, they do, and they have a white chest. There it comes. Okay. Now I don't want his nose to be particularly dark, or his ear. So let's start with where all of these marks are, because I'm going to guess that would be darker. Now I've used most of the ink. Now I can have a lighter situation for that and a lighter ear. So I'm going to leave that part. And we don't want to color this because that needs to be white. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of color because I don't want this to be dark. Okay, start right there and color him this way. We can add just this little bit. We'll go and add some more in okay, so what will be darker? The top of his back will definitely be darker, and then we're blending it in from there. Okay, now what will be darker? Right here at the back of this leg and at the bottom of his body, that part will be darker. Blend it in. Next darker spot, definitely this spot over here. Don't overdo it. Okay, and then we just want to blend that in, and then this spot is definitely going to be darker. So the darker part will start as his toesy and coming up his leg. This part will be darker at the back. And this foot still need to do. Start at the darker spot and move your way up. Okay, so we did all the darker spots. Darker, that needs to be lighter, darker. Now we're coming to the dotty. You don't want to rub anymore because otherwise you're going to bleed out all of your lines. So now where your artists have a lot of lines, you just dot. That will give you that extra depth. Okay, dot, very light dots just to add a little bit of color. It's going to bleed in, smooth out, so it's all good. There we go. And that's him done. I'm going to grab my mossy meadow and just do the grass underneath his feet. So this Cajun Craze is one of those that I just need to check. Yeah, it's fine. All dry. We just add some water with our water brush. Again, we're going to start under the darker spot. That's probably going to be under his foot. Same on the side under his foot, and work your way around. Don't rub too much. This is Mossy Meadow and Cajun Craze. They're not going to do a great, they're not going to play nice together, blending wise. Okay, it will turn into mud if you rub too much. Okay, there's our ground. Oops. It's time to stop my videos because I have a little 3-year-old peeking through my door. She's probably going to run in, Mommy, breakfast. We're almost done. Okay, there's a fox. We want dots, 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 dots. That's the way we're using, you can use crushed curry. I have my bumblebee right here. Stamp off, we don't want it that bright, okay? Fine dots, barely just touching the paper, okay? Doesn't matter if you stamp over your fox. No, it does not. And real red, you can use Poppy Parade, you can use Sweet Sorbet. It's just dots. Use what you have. I just don't want, just want very, very light colors here. Dotty, dotty. See, I'm not even inking up again. Okay, my camera ran out of space, so I had to run and upload stuff and download stuff. Okay, there we go. I was busy tearing. So after you stamped your spots, tear towards you. I'm going to tear towards me. Use your finger as a guide to where you want to tear. I'm taking about 1/4 of an inch off, and as I said, now I'm tearing towards me, so I'm going to get this edge on this side, which is fine. There we go. Now that should be exact same right size for there. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now we're just quickly going to adhere our card. Again, I'm going to use some linen trim. This one is retired. You can use, there's the natural twine. There's a lot of natural ones. There's also a very beautiful Sahara Sand and Mossy, is it Sahara Sand and Mossy Meadow? I think so. Sahara Sand and Mossy Meadow ribbon combo that will work great too. Just browse through the 2 catalogs that we currently have, the July to December, and then also the annual catalog. Glue dots. I put the 2 together, stick them down to the glue dot, then there, put it where I want it, right there, fold over, stick it down. Same with this one. Put them together, grab your glue dot, stick them on there. Get everything straight and aligned, fold it over, stick it down. That's the easiest way for me to do it. If you find that wrapping it around and tying it, then you already have your knot here. I like to do it this way, and then I have more control over where I put the knot, and I feel that there's less wastage and all of that. Okay, here is, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I always check that I have my card base correct, because I can't tell anyone how many times I have placed my card front onto my card base and then it was upside down, or yeah, so I just check. I've learned my lesson. Okay, center this right there. Going to add glue only here in the middle, because I want my edges to stand up to give it more dimension. Check that my acorns are the right way up. See, that way doesn't look right. This is, I think, the correct I'm going to move this up a little bit, line up my edges with my mossy meadow mat, and now I'm going to add this with dimensionals. Again, I don't really want to put it on the linen thread, because then it will give it extra bulk right there. So I'm just going to cut one, a thinner one for this side. Go there. If you are worried that this will come loose, you can just add some tear and tape over your ribbon. I usually put some extra glue on it if I glue it flat, which I'm not going to do now. I'm not concerned. I've never had it pop off a glue dot ever. So if I have sent you a card and the thread or the bow have popped off the glue dot, please let me know so that I will know for future. But as far as I have it, should use my take your pick tool for taking this. Okay, now the only thing you need to do here is line up your sides. That is the only tricky-ish. Like line this side and that side up. That's the only thing that's a bit tricky. And if you have the sides lined up, the toe edge thing doesn't really matter. Okay, you can pull. I'm just roughing up that edge and this edge a little bit. Got that. Now I'm again going to do that daring thing where I stamp after I've adhered everything. If you don't want to do that, place dry fit everything and stamp. Okay, I'm early espresso again. Why? Because we want it to stand out more, because we're not using a sentiment strip or putting it on a label. Or the reason for that is I feel like, I don't know, I just liked it. And this card, I'm trying to keep these cards more masculine, so that I will have more masculine stuff in my stash. Okay, I have my sentiment straight on my block. I did taste it before stamping. Okay, and then just give it some time. Even pressure, do not rock. Time to absorb, and then see, ta-da. But if you're not confident that you can get it, just stamp it before, dry fit everything. And now all that we need is this way around, that way around, what way around? Oh, it's because my roll is on that side. And I want it about there. Cut off this piece over here. Make sure that they're the same length. And then just cut that off, and I'm going to fray this again like I did with the previous card. I like the look of that. There we go. Cute. I do like that. And now I'm going to add the same dots I did using the cinnamon cider enamel dots of the retired ink colors. You can definitely use those brushed metallic dots in the new catalog. They are beautiful. As I said, haven't received mine yet, so we're just going to go ahead with what we have for now, and I'm going to put these right there. I don't press my dots down before I'm sure that that's the placement I want them. Okay, so I just very lightly place them on the card, make sure that that's what I want to do, and if I'm happy with them, then I go and burnish it down. Okay, so that is that. And seeing as I forgot to show you the card, the envelope, stamping the envelope. I'm quickly going to do that now. Let's grab a vanilla envelope. If I can get it out of the plastic, that would be super. Okay, there you go. And I'm just going to stamp the fox because that's what we have. Bring back my foam stamp and pierce mat, that's what it's called. Make sure you have your envelope the right way up, because hey, I've stamped that upside down too before. Happens. Okay, are we going to do early espresso? Yes, we'll do early espresso. Ink up our fox. I almost said wolf, because I have a whole family looking at me going, breakfast, mama, breakfast. What are you doing? Breakfast. Okay, so rushing a little bit. Okay, and we're going to stick him right here. Give the ink some time to absorb into the paper. Let me know in the comments if you're tired of hearing that. Okay, there he is. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so that is our second card in our set. That is the one I did just now, and then this is the one. Is this the one? Digging, guys. Here we go. And here is the one we did in the previous video. Okay, so if you want to see the third card in the set, remember to subscribe. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will be back shortly with our third card. Bye bye.